So we just got in our 1973 Challenger that I bought. This is going to be the car that we're going to convert to look like a 71, and it's going to end up going to SEMA with the world famous Hellcat engine in it. John Buck's been a customer now for quite a while. We did his 71 Challenger with the formal back roof, beautiful car. So now that the car's here, I'm gonna get it moved around to the other side where we're disassembling cars, round up cousin Dougie and daughter Alyssa, and we're gonna get that thing disassembled. It needs to be disassembled so the body guys can start on it while we're gone at the Little Creek Casino show. So that's gotta happen this week. Getting ready to tear apart the 1973 Dodge Challenger. This car I bought for the sole purpose of making it into our 71 Challenger RT tribute car with the badass Hellcat engine in it. So all we've got to do is change the fender side markers out, quarter panel side markers, rear body panel, and the nose piece on it here. Get this out of the way and put regular Challenger grille in there. And we've got a 71. So cousin Dougie, cousin Alyssa, we're gonna disassemble it in 27 minutes.
Okay. So wait, what are we?
We're gonna disassemble the car, Mary.
Yeah, so we're taking, this is a 73?
Half inch.
He doesn't care, he never listens
9/16.
I'm gonna start doing the
3-inch extension. Impact. Go. So let's just start taking the doors off. In this particular case, so the reason behind taking those doors off first is it gives you so much access to everything. Doors got to come off anyway, right? So if you get them off, get them out of the way, then you have full access to everything. The back of the fender bolts that hold it in place, the dash assembly, the things that you have to get to be able to pull the interior out. It's just one of the very first things that we take off the car. Sweet mother of pearl.
I needed to crank it a little harder.
What has happened? What have you done to my machine, Dougie?
I don't know, Mark.
It's going, buddy. It's going, it's going, it's going. Don't get crazy on me.
Okay, I won't.
Cousin Dougie, as I call him, is my cousin Doug, Doug Oldham. We grew up together. I've known him, obviously, since I was a baby, and he's a phenomenal technician. Me and cousin Dougie go way back time machine, working on cars. You go back to when Doug and I were kids, all we worked on was Mopars. I mean, if something else, if a brand X, we called it, came along, we'd do what we had to if it meant to flip it or get it running for somebody. But we were always Mopar. His very first one was a 70 Barracuda, Grand Coupe 318 4-speed. My very first Mopar was a 1970 Dodge Charger 383 two-barrel car.
He's never gonna do it.
So you start undoing the bolts in the doors, and if that door starts to sag, just crank it up a little bit, Alyssa.
Okay.
Okay. Since the point of this build with the Hellcat is to duplicate John's original car, let's take a look at his fender tag. Forget the E65 and the D32. We're not doing a 383 HP and an automatic 727. Let's go down to the things that make it really stand out that you know it's his car, or looks like it. FJ6 green go paint. V1X full black vinyl top. The A78, the very rare formal roof package. We got G33, a left-hand outside chrome mirror. H51 air conditioning. Now that won't show on the outside, but it'll be important to the driver. J45 hood pin tie downs. J54 sport hood. N41, N42, that's your dual exhaust with bright tips. And the most obvious part, the V6X, the longitudinal black stripe. So those are the important codes to watch for as we build this car out for Mr. John Buck. Just start unbolting everything, getting it out of the...
Everything.
Yeah, and put it on that, put what you can on that cart over there with the pads. Around Graveyard Carz now, we have so many cars. We have so many vendors, so much stuff's available that was never available. So when we're starting like on the disassembly of the engine compartment, cut that wiring harness out of there. We're gonna put a new engine wiring harness, a new headlamp harness in it. We're gonna put a correct date-coded voltage regulator. We're gonna restore the wiper. Now we don't throw it away, we restore it. But a lot of the stuff under there, we're never gonna use again. So we cut it out and we throw it away. It makes it a lot faster and it takes up less room in the end. It's a 73, so it has quite a bit more stuff on it than the 71s. Like that charcoal
Where's the rubber
canister.
mallet at?
Huh?
Where's the rubber mallet? To help get, I'm not strong enough to do the first turn.
Let me see what you got.
I don't really know what to think of Doug yet. He's just a man of few words. He doesn't speak very much. He's nothing like my dad.
Hood hinges are the same from 70 to 74. So we'll just set a pile here that we're gonna put back in the car when we're done. See these studs?
Uh-huh.
They used these on the AAR and the TAs. And then later in the years, they started using them on the regular cars instead of just bolts going down through there. I think it was to hold the fender in place for assembly line purposes. I don't know. But It's interesting to see how they changed their philosophy as they went along. When we were kids, growing up on South 4th Street, Dougie made me complicit in a go-kart heist. Had a little go-kart sitting in an alley. Doug decided we'd save him a trip to the dump. So we helped ourselves to that little thing. Went up to his house, started putting it together. He had an old Suzuki 185. Took the engine off that, fabricated it on there so we could run a Suzuki 185 on that little thing. Worked on it for weeks. Weeks, weeks, and weeks, all summer, work, work, work. Finally, we're down to the exhaust. All we got left's the exhaust. Well, the problem is we didn't engineer it very well. So the motor went right into the back, which is where your seat is. So the exhaust went right here. Nice little bullseye on your back.
Yeah?
Not enough room for a pipe to come out and go around, so we just ran the exhaust right into our back.
Kept us warm in the winter.
Dougie got it running. Went on a maiden voyage up the driveway, up to the top of the hill, gone about an hour, came coasting back down into the garage, said he busted the case, and that was the end of the golf cart days. I never even got to play with it. I never even got to ride it. Reminiscing about the old days is awesome. It's fun. It's some of the best times we had. Great memories. The stuff that we're sharing with everybody right now are truly stories that happened because he wanted to go trail hopping on a go-kart with street tires. Of course, they're subject to 50-year-old memories. And it could be embellishing a little, not a lot. How much of that's true? Try to keep factual about my stuff. More than
30.
usual? Nah,
30.
horse pucky. Horse pucky. I got witnesses.
Yeah?
Yeah. Don't make me call him. You know who I'm talking about. He lives on the corner.
Your sister?
No, I got her too. And I got Uncle Doug, and I got Vinny. I got anybody I want to ask about that. I'm gonna tell the truth what happened. All right, we've almost got the wiring harness ready to come out. So right now, cousin Dougie and the fruit of my loin, Alyssa, are disassembling the 73 Challenger. It's taken a little longer than I'd hoped it would, but as long as we get it knocked out today, I think we're in good shape. It's good. Clips, we always replace them, so that's ready to go. The main reason we replace the wiring harnesses is a safety issue. We've got 50-year-old wiring harnesses in a lot of cases. That stuff, the installation gets hard, it gets brittle, doesn't have the ability to hold the voltage. It could short out easier than a fresh one. So what we do is put brand new ones in and take out that possibility of burning a car to the ground because we wanted to save a 50-year-old wiring harness. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. Don't want to do that.
My dad likes to set these unrealistic goals, and then he likes to blame everybody else when it doesn't work out.
This is all ready to come
27
out.
minutes, I think
Power
we-
steering is ready to come out.
Probably exceeded that.
Cut that hose.
I like assembling cars, but disassembly is fun too, because you can get out here and get your hands dirty. But if I had to choose one or the other, it'd be assembly.
Okay, K-member is ready to come out.
Because it's warm in there, and you're working with, it's prettier. I know I'm gonna get made fun of for that answer, but the cars are prettier, and it's not an easier job, but hands-on wise, it's a little easier than out here in the cold, tearing apart a car.
You have that right there. Go underneath there with a 1/2 inch and undo the seat bolts for the front seats.
Okay, well, it's good.
Okay, I'm done with this. I want a more powerful gun.
What?
You want one of these
Big
impact
guns. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Let's get the job done.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get the dumpster lid. Chrysler made significant changes to the outside of the E-bodies, just like they did all of their cars. But you could never mistake a 72 Barracuda to a 71 or a 70 because the side markers would give it away. Taillights would give it away. Grille would give it away. The taillights are a lot sexier in 70 and 71 on a Challenger than they were in 72 and on through 74. Same thing with the grill. You look at a 72 to 74 Challenger and they call it the frowny face. It's got this big upside down frowny face, where the 70 and the 71 are sexy as hell. So yeah, there were styling changes. The rest of the car, pretty much the same for the most part. Intricate little changes, but for the most part, the same other than exterior ornamentation. I got a little change in my pocket.
My dad's singing is as good as his dancing. Terrible.
1978, cousin Dougie.
Oh no.
Suzuki TM400. Known in the circle today as the world's most dangerous motocross bike. All horsepower, no steering, no handling, no brakes. All horsepower. Riding it up at the little track we made at the top of the hill. I'm minding my own business on my little Honda CL100, which I had to buy myself, unlike somebody's TM400. And making trips around the track. Doug comes out of the third corner. I'm over in the second corner. I look over, I see him, and he's just got that grin, that crazy grin he get. Big, dumb grin. You know the kind of grin, right? And then he hoses that throttle and just sits on, duct tapes it in place, wide open. Goes along, just snorts out from under him, drops him like a bad habit, bends the handlebar, tears up his brand new motorcycle. Does any of that ring a bell?
Tell him about the laughter I got after that.
There was a lot of laughter. Thing kicked him off. You ever been kicked off a horse? You ever been kicked off a horse? Yeah. What you doing, Mary? Having a little trouble there?
Mary had a little lamb.
Screws.
Do I need to like keep
Wow.
up with this or?
Look how
this?
much that
Yeah.
color faded from the original. The sun has always been one of an automobile's worst enemy. On the paint, it beats them to death. The UV rays beat them until a point where there's no pigment left in the paint and they begin to either flake or they're just faded out to where you can't even tell what color they are. See that, Doug?
Yeah?
The sun line?
Uh-huh.
That's original and that's been exposed to the sun. Wow.
It's a lot of difference.
Sure is. It's a nice panel. It's a nice trim panel. It's not all chalked out like a lot of them are. Oh, there's some doobie in here. Alyssa, there's doobie in here. Woo! That's the best, isn't
Nothing
it?
makes me happier.
Now, I never even tried it. Never even puffed it or any of that weird stuff. My mother, still alive and kicking, 83 years old, she said, if you do drugs, if you do any, I will kill you. And I had no reason not to believe her. We found a doobie in a 69 Coronet RT that we did years ago, way back in the original pilot. Dougie may have sampled it, you know, kind of like one of those little sampler chocolate things, you know, that you get where you might, you know, try a little something. Royal, frankly, Royal should have gave Peru the money up front and he'd have a piece of property today.
Now, was it just a roach or did it actually have doobie in it?
No, it was doobies that had gotten stuck down the A-pillar moldings.
Okay, so my understanding between a doobie and a roach is an already smoked doobie that's about to be re-smoked. Why are you laughing? That's what it is.
They'd stay unless you vibrate it too much and they'd fall down.
Oh.
And Royal took them and smoked them. 60-year-old doobie.
Oh, man.
That's a great doobie.
I don't know. I plead the fifth.
If I found a 6-year-old doobie, I'd smoke it right then.
You should.
It's only right.
You should.
Right
Yeah,
there,
I think
as
it's a
we
sin
finish
not to.
disassembling,
Exactly.
you gotta light it up. All right, guys, it's 5 o'clock.
Mount Mary,
Yeah.
it's not. Go get
It's 5 o'clock.
a pair of needle. You know, the argument that it's 5 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock somewhere everywhere, right? Check over in Brazil, down in Australia, it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. Doesn't mean you just drop trowel and just take off running. You know, this ain't the Flintstones. You ain't gonna slide down the dinosaur's back and scream yabba dabba doo at 5 o'clock when the whistle blows. We got stuff to do.
4:58. You got me for another 120.
4:58. Ha ha ha.
Where are you going?
To get a pair of needle nose vice grips.
Okay, Doug, I'm gonna say bye now because as soon as I have a chance to escape, I'm out.
Have a good night, Alyssa.
You too.
Don't you and your little lamb getting there and are you guys quitting on me?
Yeah.
What the hell? It's
Why not? Why not?
It's not even 5 o'clock, that's why not. So the bottom line End of story, the end of the day, whatever little metaphor you want to use. I say when it's quitting time.
We'll drill it out.
All right, we'll do it tomorrow. How about that?
Sounds good.
And you guys cut right there and it's like really dramatic. So don't leave that part in where I told you to cut right there, because then that just makes me look like an idiot. Let's just leave everything out here and we'll pick up in the morning. Sound good?
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tree from Graveyard Carz. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!